Hello friends, and peace be with you. I'm standing here in this red bush because, well, it's Pentecost and I wanted to have the Holy Spirit's color, and I want to wish you many joys and many graces on the Feast of Pentecost, which is this coming Sunday. So much to say about it. Let me just offer a few things. I think we all know the story as told in the Acts of the Apostles. You know, after the Lord's ascension, the disciples returned to the upper room. There's a number of them there, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, is with them, and they're obedient to the Lord's ascension command. Wait in the city for the power on high to come down upon you. And you know, it's such a big event, but it only takes 4 verses in chapter 2 of the Acts of the Apostles. We're told suddenly there was the noise as of a mighty wind. Actually, technically speaking, there wasn't a wind, but a noise like a big wind. And then after that, tongues as of fire. There they are now. Tongues as of fire, separating and coming down on each one of them. So each one of them receives this fire of the Holy Spirit, which enables them to speak of the mighty works of God. And there were people there speaking all kinds of different languages, and they all gathered to the noise and heard the gospel preached. This is how it's told in Acts, and I love that. But during all my visits with you in these weeks of Easter, I've been stressing with you the importance of thinking of the Lord's resurrection mystery as unfolding and growing ever stronger. The ascension of the Lord is that boom, the ascension or the resurrection getting even stronger with the Lord ascended into heaven and drawing the whole universe toward him in this luminous ascent. And now connected with that also is the giving of the Holy Spirit. But we have in the Gospel of John a marvelous text that I want to read you. It's short and it's read also in the liturgy on Pentecost. I happen to have it right here in my pocket. Can't carry my red book around everywhere, so you know you can find it in the small book too. But listen to this, because the reason I think it's great is because it shows us the Holy Spirit being given on the very day of the Lord's resurrection itself. It sort of smashes everything into just this one, into the being of Jesus. And that unfolds in the next 50 days, but it's already there on the day he rose. On the evening of the first day of the week, when the doors were locked where the disciples were for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in their midst and said, "Peace be with you." Just that much, of course, is a great resurrection appearance. There, the doors are locked, so Jesus doesn't come through the doors, but suddenly he's there in their midst. This is his resurrection. This is the new form of his resurrection. And when he had said this, he showed them his hands and his side, like, it's me, the one that was crucified. He was showing them his wounds. The disciples rejoiced when they saw the Lord, and Jesus said to them again, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, so I send you." Oh, this is huge, huh? In the same way that Jesus has come into the world, now he's equipping us as his disciples to come into the world in the same way, which is a complete laying down of our lives in love. This is mission. It's what we call mission, but mission isn't just going out with some new message, some smart thing to say. Mission is coming from Jesus in the same way that he came from the Father into the world. It's a deep and profound mystical union. But we also see here mission is part of the resurrection event. That we are sent by Jesus is part of the very event of his rising. And then right here is where I want you to see the Holy Spirit. And when he had said this, so we're connecting it with what he just said, I'm sending you into the world. When he had said this, he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." So the Holy Spirit sends the disciples into the world. But we also see here the Holy Spirit comes out of the body of Jesus. The body of Jesus, which body is that? the risen body that has the wounds of the crucified in it, sending out the Holy Spirit and mission in the same way that the Father is there. You see the Trinitarian shape of this. It's just so deep. But let's feel that. He breathes on them and says, receive the Holy Spirit. And then the next line, whose sins you forgive are forgiven them, and whose sins you retain are retained. He has given his disciples, and this too is the resurrection, he has given the disciples the power to forgive sins. And without this coming from him, the work of our redemption is not passed on. Jesus is passing his own divine life into us, his disciples. This is Pentecost, gang. This is amazing. Hey, and so, of course, the whole church experiences this, and the liturgy is a privileged place of it. But I want to invite you, as I have often done during these Easter days, to sit privately in prayer also. Put yourself in the presence of Jesus, who is risen and is present everywhere, and just say, Jesus, Lord, breathe your Holy Spirit onto me. That's where it comes from. Would you like the Holy Spirit? Sit still. Put yourself in the presence of Jesus in prayer. Say his holy name and ask him to breathe on you the Holy Spirit. Peace be with you all.